Hello, hello! Welcome to Sunday Stamping with Susan Julie. It is Sunday, August 1st.
Hi, how are you? I'm Susan LaCroix. I live in Wyandotte, Michigan. This is my daughter, Julie, who lives in Champaign, Illinois. If you are joining us for the first time, Julie and I are mother and daughter demonstrators, and we've been stamping for about 19 years. And we decided, Julie came up with this brilliant idea while we were on the incentive trip in Hawaii to record a weekly video series featuring like a suite of products. And we thought it was brilliant. We started, this is actually number 9.
Oh gosh,
So
9.
9, yeah, yeah. So we're gonna kind of jump right in. No, we're not gonna jump right in. Julie, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I miss you. It's been about a
Oh,
week since you left, and we're back on Zoom for recording these videos because we live so far away. I think we just need to start planning some more stamping trips where we can get together and stamp because
yeah.
I really missed it. It
We
had been
could
a
maybe
lot.
meet halfway.
I think that's a good idea and have like a stamping weekend
Yeah, yeah. We'll have to talk
somewhere in the middle of Indiana with good Wi-Fi.
possibly. Yeah, yep, yep. Or come up and we can meet like in St. Joe along the lake.
Yes. Ooh, that would be a good halfway point. I
Yeah,
like that halfway point.
yeah, yeah. And we could catch some sunsets and
Oh,
I know, right?
I do love like Michigan sunsets.
I do too.
It's just
Oh, yeah, I miss being with you too, and I miss the kids. It seems so quiet.
mm,
And yeah, I really enjoyed our stamping together, with for these videos. It just yeah,
it's better in person.
it is.
It's more
It,
fun. But this is fun too. And I'm excited about the projects that we have to share. So even though the mini catalog is coming out in just a couple days, this will start on Tuesday, August 3rd.
yeah.
Last week we did do a sneak peek, but this week we're going back to the annual catalog because I always feel like the annual catalog doesn't get enough attention. Like it comes out and then like 2 months later, the next mini catalog is out and it always gets like left behind in the dust. So I wanted to make sure that we still showed off some of the amazing products in the annual catalog. And what we're showing today is one of my favorites
Oh
from the
yeah.
annual catalog. I'm really excited about this.
I think we should just kind of jump right in and show them what products we're going to use.
All right, let me switch to the desktop. Okay, so this is the Beauty of the Earth suite in the annual catalog. If you have the big one, this is the cover. This goes from May 2021 to April 2022. So there's still lots of time to get this. It's not going to run out anytime soon. I'm on page 10 and 11. Beauty of the Earth suite has 3 different components to it. It has this beautiful stamp set with the distinctive like 2-step stamps. This is a photopolymer stamp set along with coordinating dies. So you can get that in a bundle. And then there is a 3D texture embossing folder. This is called Bark 3D embossing folder, and you could see it looks like tree bark. And then the last component of this suite is this designer paper. So this is actually a 12 by 12 designer paper called Beauty of the Earth. And it has the lovely tree designs and different leaves. And I really dig the colors of this suite. I love fall. That's my favorite season. So this suite is just like, it just is. It sings to me. And then the backside, we've got some really great watercolor kind of patterns that you can use. And it really is for every season. I love that one for winter. So I just wanted to take a second and kind of show you the stamps are meant to like layer together, but then there are coordinating dies that die cut some of these images as well. So we've got a die that cuts out the tree, a die that cuts out each size of the foliage. There's a couple label dies, and then this die is kind of cool. And so I just wanted to take a second. I think I've got some pieces die cut. Let me put these gorgeous samples aside and show you these detailed die cuts. So the treetop has 2 die cuts. One of them is the solid one, and then the other is this detail image. And I die cut from the designer paper. So I don't know how you can tell, but there's like the different sort of shades of green. It's like a watercolor. And you could do this with many of the different designer paper backs. So this is the one that I used. You could do it with this one, you could do it with that one, and get different colors of the fall foliage. So then you can layer these together. So this can either go like this with the die cut tree behind it, or you can layer the tree on top. I don't know how you can see that. And then the foliage on top of that, just for some more added depth, and you can kind of see some of the branches peeking through. So I actually have a card where I did that. This one here, and I used a strip of the designer paper at the bottom and then designer paper in the background and die cut from that paper to do the foliage on the trees. And I'm just going to jump in and show you some of the other samples that many of these are ones that I've made. I love this one with the Bumblebee ink, really simple design there. This doesn't even use a tree. I did use the bark embossing folder in the background and the new tag dies, and I was focused on the little bird die cut, which is included in the bundle as well. And then I've got this winter card. I used some Wink of Stella. Can you see the splatter on there? I love the way that kind of turned out with the snow. And then this one, this designer paper might be my favorite piece. Like, I think it's just so easy to make a quick background card. And this is the only one I didn't make. This one is by Dina Ricow, and she just used the designer paper. And then it's hard to read the sentiment here. It says, with heartfelt sympathy. So really simple card, but that one is one of my favorite patterns. I just love the combination of the misty moonlight with some of the fall colors. So all these samples really use this designer paper so much. I'm going to switch over, Mom, to your desktop so you can show everybody what's going on with this paper. Replace spotlight.
Oh yeah. So there has been for the whole month of July, a paper sale. These are all in the annual catalog, including the one we're using today, Beauty of the Earth. You have basically today and tomorrow. So you can save 15% on these. There's Bloom Where You're Planted. We've showcased that one. Hand penned we've used. I think we've used You're a Peach. I think we've used Sweet Symmetry. In Good Taste was a carryover from last year. In the Wild, the one with the jungle theme, and then Tidings of Christmas. So all on sale until the end of Tuesday. No, I'm sorry.
Until Monday.
Tomorrow night, Monday night, because Tuesday, yay, starts the new mini catalog and celebration. And so I have quite a list. Even though we could pre-order, I've got a grocery list. So anyway, I'm going to jump right in and show you my project. And Julie did a wonderful job showcasing the products that are in this. So what I did is I looked at this paper. I'm using some more. I'm using quite a bit actually of this paper, and I'm using both sides because I love this wood grain. And so I went ahead and did some die cutting. Just get this out of the way. And I die cut a tree out of the wood grain side. And then I have to decide which treetop I'm going to use, but we've got that kind of handy. And then I'm also using, and I'll put the measurements up in just a minute. Let me slide this out of the way. I'm using, well, let me just get it out here. We will have all the measurements for our projects in the description, but I'm using the blue side, or as Julie likes to call it, the B side of one of them. This one's on this one, which is very pretty. This just reminds me of sky. The whole 12 by 12 sheet is just, anyway. So I cut a 4 1/4 by 3 3/8 piece of the blue. And then the flip side of these little trees that Julie showed is 3 1/2 by 3. So that is the designer series paper that we're using on this project. And then the card base is actually, where's my little card base side? Okay, so I'm using Bumblebee as my card base. And we're using 2 pieces of 5.5 by 4.25. And then I'm going to score them both. I've already pre-scored and pre-die cut one of them. If you haven't guessed yet, we're doing a diorama card. So I'm going to show you this one. Again, the measurements will be in our description. All right. So we're going to score this, as long as I have my cutting blade out of the way. So this is a 5.5 piece. So we're going to score both sides of both pieces. This one's already done. So we're going to go at a 1/2 inch and 1 inch. And then rather than slide that all the way around, I just flip it over and do it again.
I use that side of the ruler a lot. I don't know if other people do as well, but you're actually measuring, if you want to pause when you have it open there, there's a ruler that goes on the right of the cutting track. And I find that I do use that ruler a lot. So 1/2 inch right there. And then the 1 inch mark is the big one. So it goes all the way to 1.25 inch on that side, I think.
You're right. And I think I don't tend to use that one. I'm left-handed. So I think that skews makes me almost dyslexic sometimes. Okay, so I don't know if you can see these score marks on camera.
Yeah, I think they show up pretty well, actually.
All right, I think I need to put a new blade. All right, so you're going to want a bone folder because you're going to want to really score this really well. So basically, we're going to score it, kind of fan fold this. This will be the back side or the back piece of our little diorama card. And you can use different colors too. I just happen to have the Bumblebee out, so I went ahead for both of them. So that's the back side. So that's what you kind of want, if you can see it. I think you can see that, what you want. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing on this piece. We're going to score or fold our score marks down.
I think you want to go the opposite direction though, right?
I can flip it over. That's my left-handedness again. It'll work out.
Yes.
Okay. So then you want the same thing on the other side. So this will be my front. So eventually, when I get done assembling, it'll be this way. Okay. All right, so I'm going to set the front of this aside because we're going to work on the back of this. And I'm going to bring in my sky piece. And I really didn't have to cut it that big, I guess, because I'm going to do something with the green. So we're going to go ahead and put this in. And when I cut this, this piece is 3 3/8 because I want to leave just a little bit so that the fold, you know, you'll get the mechanics of this without it interfering with having designer series paper. So let me get out my favorite. I almost hate putting glue on this side because it's so pretty.
I know, right?
Right, so I'm going to make sure that this gets more towards the top, just so that the top is covered. That looks pretty good. And I'll, say what Julie said last week. Massage it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we have this piece of green, and I forgot my paper snip, so give me 1 second. I have to forget something every time, right? All right, so I wanted a little hill in mind, so I took this little piece, and I'm just going to freehand cut kind of a little swoopy. But you want to just keep going. You don't want to have to stop. So I'm going to layer this on here.
Oh, I love that.
And I'm going to take my tree then and stick it here. And then I'm going to use one of my tree tops and kind of create a little scene. So let me go ahead and glue. I think that'll work. I just want to make sure I don't have to cut any off the bottom. I don't want the tree too high. I want to see it when the diorama is done. Okay. And all right, let me find my little guys. I'm going to use some of my little mini dots, and as little as these are, I'm going to cut them in half so that they can fit, because I really want the tree to kind of stand up, and they're just a little bit too wide. Oh, it's going to cut off. Oh, there we go. And then we'll just grab a couple other little minis to put on here. Okay, that's good. So we'll go ahead and put our tree on. Now, well, I have to glue that on first, don't I? Susan. All right. There we go. I thought about popping the little hill up. Oh, I should trim that green down a little bit. Excuse me while I just do a little surgery here. Bam. So do it on the other side too. It never goes 100% perfect when you're filming.
No, never.
Never, ever. Okay. Now we can put our tree trunk on. So as you can see on this piece, there's some white in this designer series paper. And with the blue sky from the designer series paper, I didn't like the way that looked. So I played around. There has been many iterations of this card over the last couple days, different colors, all kinds of different things. So let me just get this guy down. I'm not going to worry about that little bit of dimensional showing because it'll be covered up. So anyway, I didn't like that. I didn't like that look. So what I did was I took my dark cinnamon blend and I wanted to just add some more fall colors. So what I did is I created a series of cards, one for each season, which I will share with you when we're done. And I decided this was my fall one. So you just kind of want to dot a little bit.
I love how that just fills it in and like,
yeah,
look full and kind of come to life a little more.
Yeah, it adds a little dimension to it too. I mean, like I said, I used some of the blue markers and I did the sky and it was okay, but I like this look much, much better, I think. So did your dad, you know, the critic. He came out and I said, what do you think?
I don't usually ask Jim about my cards anymore. But I ask the kids like all the time. Sometimes I ask Jim. I guess he's just not as around as much of as the kids are.
Yeah.
So the kids I'm always asking to come in here and give me a thought. And sometimes we text each other and send each other like, what do you think of this? Should I change that?
Yeah. So this is what our tree is going to look like. Isn't that pretty?
I love that.
So different from this.
Yes. Yeah.
It really needed that. Okay, so now I'm going to use our big dimensionals and I'm going to put this tree on here. My $250 tip about getting the backings off the dimensionals. If this is your first time watching, it was a tip I learned, many years ago in Denver when we were at convention. I need another little, which was
like 15 years ago.
Something like that. I think I've got a scrapbook page here. Hang on a minute.
Almost. I think it was our 5th
2007.
Yeah.
2007.
So 14 years ago. It was my 5th anniversary. And I remember I was celebrating my first 100,000 milestone and my 5-year.
Yeah.
And my first trip. I earned my first trip that year.
So wow.
That was a special convention, I remember.
It really
I wasn't going to go. It was kind of last minute.
That's right. You weren't going to go.
I bunked on your couch.
You absolutely did. And I also forgot my tear and tape. So let me grab that roll. Pardon me while I reach around stuff. Okay. So because we're putting so much cardstock together, you really want to have an adhesive that bonds. And I just love our tear and tape for this. I'm going to move this out of the side because I'm going to put it on this side. So I'm going to go ahead and put the tape on both sides, but I'm not going to just peel off both sides at the same time, because you want it to be able to close properly, because this will fit into one of our medium envelopes. All right, so I'm going to get this tape over here. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this side off first, probably because I'm left-handed. I don't know that it matters which side you start with, but that is what I'm going to do. And it's going to peel off here. Sure it is. There we go. All right. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of lay this out flat. You have to turn this a little bit and try to line it up. So you want to line it up. Okay. You know I'm going to screw this up on camera, Julie, don't you?
Oh, you're doing fine.
Okay. And we really do. If you don't line it up quite correctly, it won't close properly. All right. So then now I'm going to do the other side. So I'm going to take off the top piece of this tear and tape. And you want to lay it flat. So you want to open it up. I got a little fuzzy something there. Shouldn't matter. And then you want to flatten this side out. See, it didn't quite do it, but it should be okay. I'll just trim that off. So there is part of our diorama card. Obviously, it needs a little bit more work. So I already stamped and cut a little greeting that's going to go here. And then I die cut a couple birds in crumb cake.
You're gonna have to wait.
Just wasn't sure what color to do the birds in, and that's why I wound up with. Then I brought out my cinnamon cider ink and a dauber. And I don't want a lot on here, but what I want to do is just put a little color maybe on his breast and his tail, or hers. Even though we know that it's the male birds who have all the color to attract the females.
I love that. Just that little bit of sponging, like,
yeah, just a little bit.
Come to life.
And then I'm going to take my dark cinnamon cider again on this side and just give them each an eye.
I'm going to do sound effects for you.
Oh, that eye is really huge.
He's like, oh my God, did you see that tree?
Oh, Lord. Okay. So now we're going to use glue dots. And I'm going to put some glue dots here. And one on the other side. I don't want to put it in the center. And so we're just going to stick it here. And I chose cinnamon cider because I used cinnamon cider in the tree and I wanted to pull that back in.
I love it. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty.
And then we're going to also put our big-eyed. That's bugging me. I can't. Oh, Lordy. Okay.
You have a back.
All right. And let's see if I can do this without making this poor bird.
I won't make the sound effect this time. I jinxed it. I'm just going to zip my lips.
There. Enough. It's barely there. But it's better than the big.
He's squinting.
Oh, Lordy. Okay, so we're going to take this guy and this guy. All right. Put these on our card. And so I kind of want them hanging over a little bit, just again, to give a little dimension to this card. And we'll put her, oops, I lost my glue dot over on this side. There we go. There it is.
It's fun. Hold it up closer to the camera because I don't know if it's just my screen, but it looks really dark.
I'm using different lights. Is that better or worse?
I don't know. It might just be my screen. The inside the card is really dark and hard to see.
If I angle it one way or the other, does that help?
That's a little better. I think when we show it on the face camera, you'll have to do a close up to the camera so we can get a better look. But I love it. I love it so much.
Yeah, thanks. It was, so you know, I think it came together. I mean, honest to God, I have fretted more over this card than probably anything I've ever done. Like, oh my Lord. Okay, so let me show you the other cards. I decided, I made the decision that this guy was going to be the spring card.
Oh,
and like Julie, I should have used DSP, but I used I think that's Pear Pizzazz, and then maybe it's Old Olive and Garden Green, maybe. I don't know, but I decided to put cardinals in this guy. So you truly inspire me. And this was just basically using all die cuts and some more of that sky paper. I just love that. And then for summer, I decided that this guy with all the green leaves, even though there's some fall colors in here, I really just wanted a green tree. And I used the 3D embossing folders for that piece. And I made this into an easel card. So friendships refresh the soul. I love that saying because it's so true.
Yes.
And, you know, Julie, I know you have as well, but I have made so many wonderful friends and met so many wonderful people doing this over the last 19 years. And, you know, I've got stamping friends now that we've known each other for at least 15 years. We moved to this house 18 years ago.
Yeah.
And in a couple of years, and they're still with me, which is so fun. Anyway, so that's my summer version. And then this one would be my fall.
I love it. What a great collection. Like 4 seasons. It's so easy to do 4 seasons.
It is.
With this suite. I love that one. Using the top of the tree to just have like an evergreen. That's brilliant.
Yep. And then I weight castelled it because it's winter. And then I love that these blue gems carried over from last year.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted different color card bases. So yeah, so those are my I might just have to do a class on this.
I think so.
So those are my cards that I made for the 4 seasons. And yeah, that's it. I mean, I'm done. Julie, are you ready to show us what you are going to do?
Yes, I am. Let me switch the camera over. So I am focusing on my favorite of the 4 seasons, which is fall. And I definitely wanted to highlight the paper since it's on sale, like you said. So I'm using this pattern. I love, like, it looks like if you just looked up, you know, from under a tree, if you just looked up to the sky, like this is what you would see. I think it's just so pretty with all the different colors. There's cinnamon cider, Cajun Craze, Mary Merlot, some Bumblebee in there, early espresso for the tree. So those are the colors that I'm focusing on. And I'm going to show you, I was actually inspired by this card that I made when the catalog first came out. It's like a little window card, and then it, you know, it has the second card that opens this way. And so I used a lot of the same elements, the designer paper and the bark embossed cardstock with the early espresso. And I'm going to do the same technique that I did here, which is thumping. And I know that's a technique that you were kind of playing around in one of your iterations too, Mom.
Yes, actually. Yeah, I almost did Thumping, and I couldn't make up my mind. You liked it, Dad liked it, and for whatever reason, I just decided to go a different direction. So I'm happy with what I did because it's different. And so when you asked if you could show Thumping, I was like, yeah, go ahead.
So this stamp set it's like a 2-step stamp set. So there's like a more solid one that does have some variation to it, and then like a detail on top. So when I was first making the other card, I was kind of playing around, and I did just the bottom one, and then I added like a darker layer on top, and I just thought it kind of looked too busy. And so to me, the thumping technique was the answer, to add a little bit of color. And so I'm getting ahead of myself. First, I'm going to stamp the tree trunk in Early Espresso. And this cardstock is 2 1/8 by 4 1/4. And then I'm going to stamp the Bumblebee. This is just like that solid bottom layer, this one. And before I stamp it on the cardstock, I'm going to use a marker. Now, I'm using one of the Stampin' Write markers, which is different from the marker you use. You just use the Stampin' Blends, which is an alcohol marker. And
Yes.
this is the dye-based marker. So it's skinnier. It does have 2 tips, though, just like the Stampin' Blend. There's the brush tip, and then there's a fine tip for writing. And I have to say, sometimes it's hard to get, like, I feel like that doesn't always like release the ink very well. So if you have markers like this, I think even with the Stampin' Blends, you want to store them like horizontal. If you store them up and down, then all the ink is going to just go to one end or the other. So make sure you store your markers horizontally. So I'm using the brush tip for this technique, and I'm going to, they call this thumping, like I'm just thumping the marker against the stamp. And I'm kind of turning it around. I love that it looks like you can kind of see the marks. They kind of look like leaves. So you can make the marks, be a little smaller by just touching the top if you want to. But just thumping, that's the name of this technique. So you're adding flecks of color, and then I'm gonna do a quick breathe to re-moisten that ink and then stamp it. And so you get a little bit of that added color. And here again, you can see the difference a little bit better here. So this is just yellow, and then here's the yellow with the markers. In fact, I think I waited too long because I was talking about markers. I'm gonna redo it because I feel like the yellow is not very bright. So I'm gonna try to go a little faster this time instead of talking. Okay, so Bumblebee for the bottom layer, thump, 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 adding the color, just sort of dotting it all over.
You can also add more than one color. You can
Yes.
thump on several different colors if you want. Just depends on the look. Nice.
A little better. I feel like it still is looking a little light there. Maybe it's just my lighting. Okay, so this is going to be for the front of the card. Actually, I forgot I want to stamp on the inside as well. So you're going to get to see me do it a third time. Oh my goodness. Now this inside piece is going to be diagonal, and you'll see why in just a little while. So I'm doing this on a diagonal, and then I'm going to do my thumping one more time, super fast.
I could sing the Jeopardy song.
Yeah. Oh, and then I'm going to stamp that for the inside. That stamped a little bit better, I still feel like it's darker on one side than the other. I don't know why.
I think that's the nature of the stamp.
I think so. It is not meant to be solid. It's sort of meant to have.
Right.
Well, and yeah, I guess if I look at the original artwork, it does look darker.
Yeah, it's darker on that side. That's the distinctive part of it.
Okay, so that's also for the inside. I've got 2 diagonal pieces, and these are 1 3/4 inches by 1 3/4 inches. While I've got my stamp out, let's let's just stamp all the pieces and then I'll put the card together. So I have You Truly Inspire Me, which fits nicely on 2 different punches. What is this one called? The Everyday Label Punch?
Yep, that's Everyday Label.
And then the Tailored Tag Punch. And I couldn't decide. I actually sent you pictures of both and you didn't respond. So you're going to have to tell me now.
See, I didn't see that. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay. When we put the card together, you can tell me which one you prefer on the card. In the meantime, for the inside, we're using a piece of designer paper that's 4 inches by 4 inches. And you can either use the paper trimmer to score, or you can just fold and use your bone folder. So I'm just going to use the bone folder. So we're going to fold it in half, get a good crease, and then fold it in half the other way. And get a good.
Ooh, I know where you're going with this. All right.
You know this one?
I do. I haven't done it in a while, but ooh.
Okay, so I've got my 4 squares. Now I'm going to take and fold diagonally.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter either way, either direction, and use the bone folder again to get a good crease. So I have the diagonal fold and then the other 2. And now I'm going to pinch these so that they come in like an alligator. And just getting good creases again. So this is the inside. It's going to kind of pop up like this. So the squares are going to go inside those, the ones that don't have the diagonal. So let me get some adhesive and glue those in. This is going to go on the bottom and on the top. Okay, so when you open up the card, this is going to be glued inside and it's going to kind of have that like pop-up effect.
Oh, love it.
Isn't
Love it.
Before I glue that, before I glue it on the inside, I'm going to finish decorating the outside. So I've got a piece of designer paper. I'm using the same piece to carry the pattern over. So this is 2 inches by 5.5. And I'm going to kind of put this sort of in the center, like a little bottom center. And it's hanging over just a smidgen. Where are my scissors? I cut that. And then I embossed that piece with the bark, 3D bark embossing folder. So I'm going to add that. This is 3/4 inch by 5.5, and I am overlapping just a little bit the designer paper. I find once you smooth that out, sometimes it hangs over too. So I'm just gonna trim that. And then this is going to go on the side. And when I was making it, I did it a little high. And so I tore the end and then I really loved it. So I'm going to do that again here. And it just sort of like, yeah, just highlights the bottom of the cardstock. I'm using.
Now you're going to ask me which one to use, the label.
Yes, you know it's coming. I am using Cajun Craze. I think I forgot to say that. Cajun Craze for the base, which when we switch the camera around, you'll see that I coordinated with my card today. And I'm wearing a sort of a rust colored shirt, like a light Cajun Craze. Okay, so that is on dimensionals. I put dimensionals on it because we're going over the textured cardstock and I didn't want it to like pull up. So I used dimensionals to make sure that it was going to stay put. Okay, so here's where I need your help. Do we like the everyday label or the tailored tag?
Oof. You know, I think I like the tailored tag.
Yeah, I do too. That's what I ended up going with on my sample.
Oh.
So I'm glad you agree. That makes me feel better. I feel like the other one just covers up too much of the designer paper.
I agree.
So this just like allows more of the background to show. So I'm only doing dimensionals on the back because it is going to kind of overlay that white where there already is dimensionals. So just like a little bit of regular adhesive to glue that down. And then I guess I need your help again, because like if I were making this card, it would be like, okay, it's done, but I know that you like bling.
Yeah.
And so I couldn't decide between the yellow holiday rhinestones or the faceted, not the faceted,
Gilded.
the gilded gems. I was thinking it could use a little bit. What do you think?
I like the smaller gilded gems. Yeah.
Let's put those on and see what we think. And I went rogue like a time or two ago and did 2. And I heard about it in the comments. Everyone was like, no, Mom is right. You must do 3. So we're gonna do 2 on top and 1 down there. What do you think?
Perfect. I love it. You can send that card to me now when you get the inside.
Well, I will send it to you because I have one already made for myself. So okay, and now we just need to add our little pop-up. So this is going to go right inside so that the tip is like right just inside that fold mark. So I'm going to put some adhesive on the back and to make sure that it's the right way and not upside down. I'm just double checking. So this is going to go just inside the fold, like in the center. And so that's glued down. And then I'm going to add some adhesive on top and close the card. Little strategic massage, and then when I open it,
woo, yay! That's so cute.
We've got the pop-up.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
You truly inspire me, Mom.
Oh, thanks, sweetie.
All right, let's go back to spotlighting ours, and we'll do a close-up of our cards.
All right,
and
there we go.
Oh, you can see it so much better in the light, Mom.
You know what? I'm gonna I'm probably not gonna use those lights again. I wanted to try it and see how it went, but yep.
It was okay. I think it was just the depth of your card that was making it hard to like see the inside.
That could be.
That is so much better. It is amazing. I love the depth of that diorama.
And I actually have another one of these too that I made, so I'll have to pop it in the mail to you.
All right. Score. See how I coordinated?
Oh, you did. I didn't. Well, I coordinate with the sky.
You did. See, we both did.
Yeah. That's crazy. Anyway, this was fun, Julie.
It was.
I love these. I actually got this. I was inspired by a card that you did. I haven't done a diorama in years and years and years. We used to use the skinny ones, and we'd punch holes. Remember, we'd punch like 3 holes.
Oh yes.
Yeah. That was probably the last time I did a diorama. But the one you did, I thought, oh, we have such amazing dies now. That's how long ago we did the dioramas with the round punches. So yeah, I did one with the bird's nest. I don't even know where it is. I should have brought it over, but a bird's nest, the birdhouses. But
oh yes. That was a great card. Is it within reach?
No, I don't even know where it is. It's somewhere in this mess. I won't turn the camera around and show you my table because it is a mess.
I wouldn't want to turn my camera around either and show you the constant mess. I think that's just the way everyone crafts, right? In a mess all over the place.
Yeah. Just one last reminder, ladies and gentlemen. You've got today and tomorrow. That's it. Then the sale goes away and you'll pay full price. You don't want to do that, right?
15% off those 9 designer papers from the annual catalog. If you're waiting to order from the mini catalog, you can't order the paper sale and the mini catalog at the same time. So make sure to get your paper sale order in today or tomorrow, and then the mini catalog starts on Tuesday.
Oh, I'm so excited. I can't wait.
Are you ready to show some more mini catalog stuff next week, Mom?
Yes, actually, I have some thoughts about that we'll discuss and kind of get things rolling. And I know that both you and I are doing a product share for the upcoming mini.
Mm-hmm.
So I think my blog post went out today, and I think did yours already go out? Yours, I saw yours.
Yep.
Yep. And so, yeah, so we each have a product share going on. So that's exciting. It gives you a little taste of pretty much everything because, you know, I know when I get the mini catalog, Julie, and I don't know if you do this, I focus on the papers. I love our designer series papers. And after all these years, I know that they look so much better in person than they do, you know, and I know that they do in the catalog, just the photographs of them. And to determine exactly what you want to focus on, it helps to have a little bit of everything so you can see what you like. And then see some of the coordinating ribbons and embellishments that go with it. It's just a lot of fun. So if you're interested in either of our product shares, get a hold of one of us. We'll be happy to help you. What else, Jay? Can you think of anything?
I don't think so. We'll put the links in our video description. So if you're watching Mom's video, look in her video description to find the link with the information about the product shares. It really is the best way to try everything without spending hundreds and hundreds of dollars to buy it all yourself.
Like Julie and I do.
Yes. We spend hundreds buying it all for ourselves, but you don't have to. No, product shares are such a great way to just try a little bit of everything. And then, like you said, you can figure out what you like so that you can buy more of that to use, you know, and make a whole bunch of cards. But the papers especially are so prettier in person than they show in a catalog. Like they really are beautiful and amazing.
Yeah, there's like 2 or 3 that I just can't decide which one is my favorite. So, you know, I have like 3 favorites. And that's not even taking into account the Celebration Designer Series paper.
Oh my gosh, yes. Those are definitely like there's 3 designer papers and then 1 specialty glitter paper, but they're hands down my favorite Celebration designer paper. Like they're amazing. I'm gonna have to spend a lot of money to get extra packs so that I won't run out anytime soon.
You know, Jay, maybe next week we should do like something for the mini and a celebration, you know, just kind of a quick to kind of highlight. Oh, we'll talk. I have some other thoughts. Anyway, on that note, we're going to let you go.
Yes, we'll
Thank
figure
you so
out
much for watching.
Make sure to tune in next Sunday at noon Central Time, 1:00 p.m. to see what we came up with. We hope that you have a great week. Mom, I hope you have a great week.
You too, babe.
I will talk to you soon. Love you.
Right. Love you.
Bye.
Bye.